Who's going? What do you mean? I've got 7:30. Okay, we'll call the meeting. Secretary, call the roll, please.
Keith Campbell.
Here.
Steve Eisenbrow.
Yeah.
Bill Gallagher.
Here.
Kyle Ferris. Jim Steelsmith.
Here.
Chris Party.
Keith, is your button up? Yep. Good. Okay, we have a motion to approve the agenda with flexibility. I move to approve the agenda with flexibility. On a second. I second the motion. Got a motion second. All in favor, say aye. Aye. Those same. Okay. Minutes, we have, I think the regular meeting was a move. The hearing, I think, was the hearing totally completed, so. Everybody read the minutes from regular BZA meeting of June 17th. Anybody have any addition or correction or? I have none. Then, you? No. Double check it here. I haven't seen anything. We should. In a motion to approve the regular minutes from the regular meeting of BZA June 17th. I make a motion to accept the minutes from June 17th, 2024 meeting. I second it. Motion second, all in favor, say aye. Aye. Those same sign. Also. Special meeting from June 24th. Anybody have any additions or corrections to the minutes of the special meeting from June 24th? Need a motion to accept the minutes, approve the minutes, I should say. And BZA hearing HTBZA 2402.
Well, if I can ask, should we hold that then until we finish the hearing, we can put both together?
This is the clerk special hearing.
Okay, sorry.
I have to explain I wasn't here. Right. I make a motion to accept the rules from the BZA HTBZA 24-02 as presented. I'll second that. We have a motion and a second. Any discussion? If not, all in favor, say aye. Aye. Those same sign. Those are approved. Couple minutes till time for the hearing. So So, okay. Okay, 7:35. Oh, kind of. Dance. Yeah. Yeah, in motion for the motion to move past the regular. uh, I second the motion. A second. Yeah. Yeah. We can throw the Kyle there now. We have a motion and a second to recess the regular meeting. Favor say aye. Aye. Opposed, same sign. Final call. HTBZA 2403. Recess. So roll call, please. How many is present?
Keith Campbell.
Here.
Steve Eisenbrenner.
Here.
Bill Gallagher.
Here.
Kyle Ferris.
Here.
Jim Steelsman.
Here. Okay. We had when the hearing on this last month, and we took testimony from an applicant, also from the zoning inspector, also from a person that lives doing property owner, but they were and then we close the public portion of the meeting. We have more people tonight. I may be with the public portion in case someone wants to make any comments. First off, I'm going to give a summary of what we had discussed. The first part of the hearing, Mr. Miller was in contact with my county design director in October and several times up through March. I discussed doing the building, which has been constructed. And so we would, and then we came back to this application. In the meantime, the planning commission had changed some of the rules, and we found out that the rules didn't apply to that for partial with the building sitting on it. So we decided to keep on proceeding with that. The public presentations, and one person commented was concerned about the number of vehicles being seen from the road. We closed the public portion after that, and questions about the fluids and coolants, containment case of leaks, about EPA requirements about storage of gasoline, and the storage of cars out of sight. This note talks about building a fence on the back property line, so cars can be stored between the fence and the building, so they'll be out of sight of the neighbors. And from the we've talked about cars who can be in the front and not counting as personal vehicles. So at that point, we wasn't sure where to go next because of the concern about if it was what the voting was and whatever. So we talked. I think Jim would talk to the county prosecutor, and Jim will say, yeah, I did get a brief statement. If you would, that would bring us up to speed. Yeah. So Mike, Jim, zoning inspector, and myself were on a call with Corey Gray
the Delaware County Prosecuting Attorney's Office, who represents Harlem Township, and went over the property and the different problems that we were encountering, deciding how to go about this. In the conversation, when we were discussing the different parcels, because there's 4 or 5 different parcels on his property that sort of go together. The parcel that the houses the expanded occupation building is actually on an AR1 parcel. So, according to the attorney, we can do the expanded occupation on that parcel and do what needs done for that. It would be perfectly legal. And so with that, he also stated that we probably somewhere in or whatever we do with this is to identify that parcel, not just by his address, but what that AR parcel is in the hearing. Because there's 5 different parcels, we want to make sure which parcel is the AR1. So, with that being said, Mike and I decided to bring it forward that our recommendation would be for us to move forward based on the fact that it's on an AR1 parcel.
So I think at this time, if we are in agreement, like the portion of this in case someone else has anything to testify of the change. So, any issues with opening the public portion up again? With this, I hadn't sworn everybody that's going to speak tonight. So, if you would stand if you want to speak, including the applicant, and if you want to speak, then we will. So we tell the truth, then so if you don't want to speak, that's fine with us too. Anyone on Zoom have any comments they want to make? So that being the case, the motion to make sure to close the public portion. So I move to close the public portion of the hearing. Second. Motion is second. Say aye. Same sign. Okay. The public comments will be accepted. Okay. Some of the things we discussed was the number of vehicles seen from the only the number of vehicles that are actually in front of or near the not counting the personal cars because that parcel is residential parcel and they're allowed to park the cars over there. Gasoline and such. I think we have some information about that. Yeah, each one to bring.
Sure. Well, we were talking last time about containment rack, whatever you want to call it, and there's different styles for that. So I think we want to stipulate to the motion to approve. Well, let me back up. When I talked to the fire chief today, just to make sure we were on good footing, he said 3 things need to happen. One is we need the fire code, the EPA regulations, and a certificate for operation from the fire department. Before you should be, in particular, you really should have that before you're doing any business there, but before you have any interest in storing liquids, I think that's our biggest concern with respect to possible pollution. The chief would be happy to meet with you and kind of get that sorted out to his satisfaction. And with that, I think that answers that question.
Thank you. Determine whether the fence is able to put the fence on the property. We all seen that right last meeting. We kind of was all in agreement with that. Okay. Number of cars. I'm thinking before not this way, we're looking for cars ones before one sitting there waiting for parts, we can look at the other one or something. So 4 cars would be in sight of the road out front, and anything else that was not being done at the time should be stored behind the road. The other thing different than that I'm talking about. Okay.
But yeah, so.
Okay.
Then the herd, yeah, noticed.
I saw that today. The woodworking shop probably had not discussed too much about. I guess my question is, do you have a table saw stuff or legs or anything like that?
Yeah, they have a table saw, remarks in the basement.
So that's the woodworking stuff. I wasn't like, nothing special, nothing that needs 550 volts or something like it. Like, I don't know. This goes to prosecutor's office and got an answer from that. So, any other questions, stipulations, or? We need to take a recess, I guess, and motion, I guess.
I have one quick question. Are you doing the business under a corporation, LLC?
Taking LLC at this point.
Okay. Do you have to stipulate on that what you might have on?
We have one that we're considering, I can't say it like it yet, but.
Okay.
If you need one, I can give.
That would be good. Yeah, that'd be approving, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. That's the legal one way to go. You probably don't have it yet, so maybe we can say it's pending.
I would still know around with it. Simple.
So that's available.
Pretty cool. All right. William Miller. Yeah. Yeah. We thought most of those would be doing
What's fun?
That's my first one.
We might put your initial in front of the first. About the right.
Then, for that parcel, there is a street address for that parcel. It's 100 or signature.
So it's got a separate address.
Yeah, I just established that like back in April.
What was that address again?
111.
Which one, 00?
Yeah.
Parcel.
Should be on that.
Who's the largest acreage?
I can't hear the number.
Yeah, it's pretty Florida.
No.
She calls auto repair or auto restoration. That's really the difference.
I just said on both branch.
Think about my question a little bit more. I'm trying to figure, you're the property owner and you're the person who's for the property for automotive usage. So it wouldn't probably necessarily have to have the LLC in there. Just trying to losing out my head there. Yeah. So you're the person of usage.
Yes, and the property would not go over to the LLC.
That mostly for legal protection.
Yeah.
That's what I do. Well, it's that center property, right? Or the. It actually has the, it's on this thing. It says 1100 in the red. So it'll be the parcel number underneath the 1100. Yeah, which is the 10,000. Mine's illegible.
Well,
Well, that's right.
I have three street addresses.
Yeah. Which other needs to exist?
I don't have a connection.
So that's the 6,000, it looks like. Yeah. Yeah. No, I'm trying to, you're right. So it looks like it is. Keith, for our motion, it would be 3163-2004 006-000.
3163-2004-006-000.
Correct.
Okay.
One, 0, 0.
Yes.
100, yeah, that works. 11 double I.
This one thing we didn't discuss, maybe we should, is business hours.
I didn't hear.
Business hours, what, hours of operation. I guess, Mr. Mayor, we'll talk to you first about that, what's the expectation, hours open, hours closed. Those are the. Not the microphone, the perfect way.
State of the there.
Sure, we look that way.
Yeah. Miller, 11122. 11100. Where's the road? As far as hours, we haven't settled on hours yet. We were just waiting to see if this would pass before we went any further with planning. So.
You know, I'm sure neighbors out there. It's not going like I said earlier, see what their expectation was. I do think you'll be so we can decide from now.
Well, I know in this hot weather, we've been working later at night because it's like we were just, for comfort and health issue. I mean, it's that building gets really hot sometimes. So, but if there's going to be restrictions, we'll abide by that. But like I said, I wasn't prepared to answer. I'd like to talk over with my son first before I make a decision because he's going to be in the business with me. So.
If you can't decide what to decide for you, this what you think should be 8 o'clock's plenty early. You know, if you're in a residence. Things do like them. Yeah, 9 o'clock. Yeah.
No, but that's not necessarily, that's not necessarily what the neighbors say to the degree that would be effective anyway. We know they go to 6. 5, but go through Saturday, but Sunday.
Yeah.
I'm trying to think. I've been going to Roger's Garage, and I think they close at like 5. Yeah, they start early, but they'll close at 5. There's this I believe it's space gray, so they probably don't have the heat problem. Well, it's air conditioned. Yeah, air conditioner. I'm sort of agreeing with the 6. I'm trying to work with him, but I'm also thinking of the neighbors. And they are close. Yes, they are. And whereas Rogers is sort of out by themselves, there's a little more out. Just cows. Yeah. Restriction 6 to the public, or if they're inside, I don't know. Until 8 if they're inside. I don't know. It's like a twofold thing here. You're trying to help him, but you're also trying to respect the neighbors because they are close. I was going, I remember last week or last time we met, we talked about your son's enclave of friends that were kind of out there talking cars and doing whatever. That doesn't constitute work, I guess. I mean, so I'm not quite sure how we put some boundary conditions on that. I mean, let's just say it was 8 to 6, but now if there's a gathering of 15 guys out there, the tools that you've got working on their own cars in the yard, that to me doesn't meet the intent here.
I think it's considering the same, I'd like to be able to work on my own vehicle whenever I need to get it in and work on it. That happens to be midnight. I think everybody else enjoys that. So it would distinguish between whether we own the vehicle or whether it's a customer vehicle, right?
I don't know. Going back, insulate the building and heat it, actually.
You wouldn't.
Yeah. I'm trying to go back from experience. I'm a car garage guy. Yeah, I understood Rogers. Yeah, those little race cars, I don't know what those things are. They're passionate about it. After hours, because I have to go pick my vehicle up after hours, they were inside wrenching on one of those. It wasn't a lot of bills or anything, he was just tinkering with his own race car. But he was inside. So to me, that should not be a problem. That's what I'm thinking. If they're inside wrenching on their own car.
Yeah, so that's not part of the business. That's not part of the business.
No, I'm just trying to think of the, because what happens is the neighbors won't know if it's your car or somebody else's car.
Correct, yeah.
Yeah, so what I'm trying to do is come up with some kind of compromise where you can be working on your own car.
Right.
If it's inside, 6 months out of the year, you'll probably run it inside.
Yeah, but I appreciate where you're going with this. I really do.
So, but I'm just going by experience. I mean, say what you feel. I'm just trying to, from experience going over watching those guys.
Yeah, no, I just don't want restrictions on my own personal use of.
No, but I'm just saying, normally, with the weather that we had, you want to be inside anyway. That's why I was asking if you're, in that way, you don't have bikes not receiving calls where, you're out there at 11 o'clock, you got the spotlight on, you're feeding a fender or whatever, even with your own car.
Right.
They're now going to perceive everything you do as a business. So, or things, you're entitled to work on your own car. Let's compromise this somewhat and saying that by, let's say 7 to 7, and it's outside, it's in those hours. And after 7, it has to be outside so that there's no noise to the neighbors.
We try to be respectful of noise.
So
yes, I think.
Okay.
I think 7 o'clock's too early. They were next to my house, and at 7 o'clock, somebody banging on fenders and grinding. That's stuff. I just pull numbers out. We can invest that. I'm just saying it's too early. Sorry.
You got them out there long before the sun rolls out. So.
Is your valve working? Anybody? No, it's on.
Yeah, we have it just like for body work, so we won't be banging on fenders, but every now and then you get a ball joint that requires some a little bit of talking to.
7, 8, that's I'm not saying, but here's a individual business hours, and he does after that on his own side, same side, so the neighbors don't do it. That's. I'm good with 8. Is anybody
fine with it?
you fine with 8?
I'm fine with 8 to 6. And then, for working customer cars.
Right. Before having customers coming to and from the product.
Right.
Yeah, we're not gonna have that kind of traffic, so.
No, you gotta stipulate.
But most of what we're gonna do work on our computers, so.
Okay, so if we said after 6, work to be, if it's property to be used to work on your own personal vehicles and inside, because again, the noise factor could be from 15, 20-year-olds hanging out with your son having a party drinking beer. Well, I'm serious. I mean, that's what concerns me. And so that's not really the business.
Right.
And so how would you propose we stipulate that there, you could be working on your car, your son could be working on his, he's got 15 friends standing around Yahoo and
they do that.
Well, yeah. I don't think that's what people are looking for.
Right. That's what happened. Didn't have to be disrespectful. What's going to happen whether we run a business out there or not. So, it becomes
it's an attraction. That's the problem. It's kind of what happened in my house.
Right.
Back in the day, my son, they call them nicers. you know, the little Toyota with the film, you know, all that. But next thing you look out there, there's a whole bunch of them. So it's the attraction that, you know, there's a commonality, they all show up. Uh, so, but because you're in a condensed area is the problem.
It's something that one of the things that we've always done, because, you know, we have dirt bikes and things like that, is only from dawn to dusk. And we've not had a neighbor come complain how they move, complain with people, but and us, you know, so if we're outdoors making noise that we know is disruptive to the neighbors, it has to be after sunrise or before sunset, be respectful of people.
I like 8 o'clock. In the morning.
You don't have a large objection at 8 o'clock in the morning.
I don't have an objection to any time,
Mornings, yeah, don't put the morning.
because I think it will be a rare day we'll be out there at 8 a.m. making noise.
I have written 8 to 6 and inside after the hours. So, how does it feel about that? I mean, that's. I'm like, for 6 p.m. for normal business offer, if the customers coming, whatever. And,
then the woods are nuisance after that time.
Cool, so we try to work that out. So. Hey, people don't want their car to work on in the evening, no. So it'll like be their time to they can try and finish one up, but we can work around that. So
Okay. Well, I still like him to be inside if you're working on his own.
Yeah, it's not making much noise. It's where.
Well, that's what I'm saying. If he's got to go inside and not making noise, they could go till 11 o'clock at night on his own car.
I mean, it's one thing if you're. To the impact wrench and then your valve joints, whatever, that's amazing. It's a water pump on, that's like quiet, brakes don't make much noise. I mean, depending on what the job you're doing, some jobs are a lot more conductive noise than others.
What I worry about is somebody moves in. I know so that doesn't make any difference, but like there's an empty house next to you.
that's old actually.
So they're probably going to fix it up. Somebody probably going to move in, right? So what we run into is what if somebody moves in and they work a weird shift? So we have to be caught, once we're trying to figure this out with you, we have to figure out, that we're not, like he said, with an air gun, pulling tires and stuff, that's going to resonate.
Sure.
So.
Anyways. Okay. I guess there's, plan to put the sign up on. Okay. Let's get in there.
Before you get too far.
Talk about APA. Waste.
Say the property, is it Brasket Road, Scott Jr. property sold?
That's my understanding, yeah. There was somebody in there cleaning it up the last couple of weekends. I heard two gentlemen added to rehab and look.
So given this hasn't been approved yet, do we need to notify them? So Jason Neighbor,
If it's changed in, because we take it off of the county auditor's website. Has it changed? I don't know if it's changed on the website or not.
Yeah.
Guess we'd have to find that out.
Maybe we were loaded to that property, so
yeah, but
it didn't come back, so.
but then if it's since then has changed ownership,
It's it changed after this hearing.
Yeah.
or it changed before this hearing. Probably during the hearing, because I'm saying we haven't approved this yet. Yeah.
What is the address of the property is a question.
5901
Harlem Road.
I think it's, no, it's this 586. Well, that can't be.
What's your address?
That may be a Harlem address.
Yeah, you're right. Oh, yeah, you're right. It might be a Harlem address.
I know Anderson across.
It could be. So 5867 Harlem is my guess. Because the houses across the street are in that same.
Will be the one that was Brasket on the application.
Oh, okay.
I know I was not too long ago. I can't really figure it out. It was still under.
Was it Brasket?
Yes.
Brasket, I've got it. One.
That's the. I may be wrong. So it was a relative of hers. I thought it was also Brasket.
Well, the 5867 Harlem Road, which is White Scott Jr. Brasket.
That's the one.
It's 5867. Oh. 43021.
I know one of the Braskets passed away several years ago, but which one I don't.
I think 6-7.
It's number 10. I don't know. Probably. We look that up.
I think Mike wants to do that.
Right, what's his name, the Jim? What was it? The person?
That was AR1.
So my take will probably be the application, he did all his due diligence to contact all the neighbors and get all the proper addresses named on the application. And then we did the mailing to those folks at the time of the application. So I mean, if this would, somebody will buy a property that we just delay and delay and delay.
Well, given it's literally right, it's the closest house to where this activity is going to be. So, you know, if it was one of the guys there over across the street, I might feel differently. But did you get a?
It's like a waiting flame.
That's what I am.
That's my neighbor to the back.
We're thinking about it.
Yeah. Well, he's an object. He's on the list, so. Benjamin, you know, I think Laura.
It's up to July 10th.
That's him.
It's up to July 10th.
The previous one, we will get a response from him.
No, it was not returned.
It wasn't returned.
We have one out of all this return, and it just came to me the day before. Jackson Properties. 5901. No, but just because it wasn't returned doesn't mean it's the new.
Well, it's highly unlikely that the owner disclosed what's going on for a realtor to pass on to the prospective buyer.
Right.
Right.
Yeah,
I understand that, but it hasn't been concluded yet, and now we know, we have knowledge of the fact that there's a new owner next door. So.
Well, does it really matter that it's a neighbor that's already not objected? Because it's Benjamin Fling, he owns the property right behind me, he's on the list.
Well, the property right behind him, and the noise and so is over here. About as far away from this as you can get. It was right next door to the noise center. So maybe he feels different about that. I don't know. I mean, I don't know what the protocol is for that.
We'll have to know the nature of that property if you bought it, if it's around that area. It was over 5 days ago. It looks like it's better shape today than it was 5 days ago.
Yeah. And Benjamin knows exactly what we're doing, so.
If that's the same person.
Yeah.
So we establish that first, I guess.
Were you saying it was Benjamin the Flame?
It says waiting.
Okay. He didn't know about it.
That's true.
He's not in the original.
Would we give a different mailing address? Taxes.
I didn't look at that, I just looked at the address.
We're trying to decide if it was the neighbor or not. Look that up in the GIS and see what the tax mailing address is. See if it's the other Fling or if it's there's so many Flings and it could be a grandkid getting his first house. I mean, who knows? So he was a nephew of the original owner. So the brother's house behind him.
First, the letter was mailed in 21.
I'd like to know what the protocol is for this, because it seems like we're not sure what protocol is.
It's a good question. If you're surrounded by a dozen properties and one sells this week and then one sells 3 weeks from now and another one sells 3 weeks after that, you can be definitely delayed. Right. If you have to keep doing it. Yeah. I see the limit there.
Well, I see that other than the fact that it's the closest property to the operation.
So there has to be a protocol for this, right?
That may not be, but I don't know. I'm not hearing from the expert down here that there is.
Well, I mean, we take the day you receive the application is the point in time that thing the clock starts. Anything happens after that, I mean, it's out of our control. It's like, if this property sold after the day of May, whenever we did first hearing. After the application, so May 20th, I don't know. And first time I did.
That's your determinant. If you believe that's the reading on it.
Yeah, we started this June 17th.
Right.
That was the day of the hearing, the application came in before that. And that's when the notice was sent out. So the clock started May 20th. So
Well, it's worth the room. It says that they buy it and flip it. So if they flip it within a month, then we're right back with the same property, with the same issue.
So I take the clock starts maybe we receive the application. And we set the hearing, so.
Okay.
That's the way I look at it. Right? We can't control what happens outside of it. You know.
Yeah.
We can't control it either. I mean, I don't own the property next door, so. Right. You know.
Here we got. I'll ask it one more time. So, with all due respect about your son, so you're not willing to put any kind of stipulation in there that would state that after some hours there won't be a group of kids showing up?
That's what's costing my personal property.
Huh?
For business.
But it's not a bird. No, it's but it's a business that you're creating.
I'll put the stipulation that they're not allowed there for business purposes.
No, I think they can't gather. If they want to gather, they can go gather within your house.
I really think that goes, I mean, personally, I really think that goes beyond.
I don't. I'm just, that's my opinion. I don't think so. I can see that. I can see that being a total nuisance.
But they're not there for business purposes.
It doesn't matter. Well, but they're only there because of that capability that your son has to play around with their cars.
To work on their cars.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well,
So why should they be?
well, why should they be allowed to do that?
Because it's not business.
Well, I agree. I would support that.
I mean, it has to be that in order to get it to business, I'll put that restriction there, but I think that's an unfair restriction. I would just voice that.
I will respect. That's my point of view.
Sure.
So if those would go on as they are now without the business being there, there wouldn't be any such restriction, right?
Well, I mean, there isn't now. But if he's operating it as a business without approval, then that's out of code, or out of, that's, not correct. It's not approved an occupation.
But they're not there for business purposes. Not charging them to work on their cars.
But they're there to take advantage of the capability you're putting in place by being allowed to have a home occupation.
You know, I was trying to build that pole barn and use it for my personal use, right? And that's what they're there for. They're not taking advantage of a business. I don't have a business. They're not taking advantage of it. I'm merely asking for permission to run a business there.
With all due respect, if I may.
Sure.
Well, I live around the corner. I see tons of cars there. I see tons of people. I see them stripping cars. You've got to have titles to those cars. Somebody's got to have titles to all these cars. We're trying to help the neighborhood. And I have seen what goes on there. Now, I'm not condemning you, but I have seen what goes on there, and so does that man. And we're trying to help the neighborhood and help you at the same time.
Yeah, like I said, I'm willing to accept the restriction if that's what's required. I'm just expressing my belief that I feel.
I know.
I'm not trying to piss anybody off. I should be able to express my concerns like everybody else.
Sure.
So, but as I stated, I'm willing to put that restriction there if that's what it requires to get approval.
Let's see how we have it written up here, and then as a draft here, then see how that reads, and then see if we want to make any alterations to it. And we may have it covered a little bit there with the noise and nuisance portion after hours. I don't know.
Fortunately, there's no noise and nuisance ordinance in the township. So it was in the county. But after the 4th of July, you would have so you're on. So I saw it on next door.
I'm not seeing an order address for William Flynn. Showing up, the only address I see is the 5867 Harlem Road.
Look and see what else we had. Three things you talked to about the fire.
Code regulations and certificate of operation from the chief, the fire department.
So certificate of operation. So they has planned, but there's trees in the front, there's supposed to have a screen in front too. But they have to go yet. What's happening or not.
That's covered under all the fire part at the end. If we got all three things in there, if we got two of them, or that one covers all three.
It's nice. Someone I did that to yet, so it was not finished. Skill set. These are nuisances outside of the business hours. So we would have a person to get that. We'll get that a little stronger.
Since he's talking about outside, he would claim is from private use with his son and his friends. Well, it's still nuisance. Yeah. So to me, it's any noise or nuisance emanating from the business intent, regardless of hours. So how we have this read right now is hours of 8 a.m. to 6 p.m. to conduct normal business activities, comma, no noise or nuisance outside of those hours. And we'll have discussion.
I didn't catch the last part. What is the restriction on after hours?
No noise or nuisance after those hours.
Oh, okay. Let's see.
Outside of those hours, what I say.
So the properties on that AR1 plot, correct? So whether it's personal or business, can we restrict the noise coming from that one particular lot? So, you know, if these guys show up and they're on your personal property, that's the only thing you can do, but if it's all coming from that one lot.
But they're going to use the two buildings that he's got. And I'm not condemning them. We're just trying to, we're talking about facts.
I think it's about the neighbors.
Well, right, it's the neighbors, but they're going to use the facility. You know, they're not sitting on the porch, you know, having a cold drink and talking. They're, you know, crowded around the cars. Maybe one of them's got a car problem. They'll look at it. I don't know. I'm just going from, you know, experience there of watching them. You got a neighbor right next door. I don't know. And he's close to the red building in the original garage.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know, guys. I mean, you know, it's one thing. You got to have something in writing. So, you know, whatever you're working on, you know, it has to be in writing.
So I think it should be subject to now, that would be how your county defines a disturbance or a nuisance or a noise. And we want to be clear that we're not giving you a free pass out of that. Right. So it's not the BZA said I could do this, then I can make all the noise I want now. Because we've applied for this business, you know, we're on a business application and to come in there. So I would think, I don't know how to throw out in the lawyer, I don't know what are county laws. But if people if somebody was making a complaint, they might call the sheriff come out and act accordingly, however that would be. Right. Well, right. Yeah, that's my understanding. Yeah. And then if they has the clerk come out before? For noise and nuisance or disturbances? Okay, so that's good so far. I mean, we know that we try to be respectful of our neighbors. So yeah. Our neighbors have never, I mean, we talk to our neighbors, they've never expressed any issues with us. Okay. My neighbor thought my son was riding his dirt bike too late at night, but it wasn't us, it was our neighbor who was doing the riding. So not the same time anybody's ever pulled up and said anything, but for the kid across the street, because he runs up and down Gorsuch, they thought it was my son. So it was my son was there, so it wasn't him. So
Look at that.
So, again, I'm not trying to upset anybody, but I'm trying to figure out where it was just common law comes into play and where zoning is when it comes to this issue of like the gathering and nuisance after 6.
Well, I don't believe it has anything to do with zoning. It has to do with conditions that we attach to the approval of your occupancy use, so we can attach any conditions that we choose to do so.
Well, Mike, I talked about the
So it's not a zoning issue. There's nothing about that in zoning.
let's see, it's complaining we shouldn't have to look at it. Anything else you think we should have? Make it clear, you know, the property's still subject to any local ordinances, noise ordinances, or, you know, we're not giving them a pass on it. Right. No. Make a motion, we'll accept the motion.
Oh, we'll write that on. Do you want to write that on there?
Yeah, I want to make it clear that we're not giving anybody a pass to make all the noise they want to make. Not just a noise, just making sure they follow all the stipulations to.
See that, we don't have the power to supersede that anyway.
Okay.
Don't have to listen to the order. We don't have the power to do that. No, never mind.
There's no noise or nothing that ends in township. It's really in township. No, it's a township that has no ordinances and in the police department. So we can enforce it, but every county can enforce. Anything we ever do in the township, it's framed as a parking lots. And then they did that like 5, 6 years ago, maybe.
All the time.
Back. That was the any kind of ordinance that's ever been written. Okay. So, but I know, or I mean, that's, I know that's what it's time. 15 years ago. And so the police department enforced them. This is their person to it.
It's a problem and somebody comes and complains, we're going to suggest that they should call the sheriff.
Yeah.
File a complaint.
Yeah.
And do it as many times as they need to do that, as long as they consider it a disturbance. So if it's not, look, I'm rooting for you. I got thought for you, but I dealt with. And all of their friends, because we built, our house was built with the intent for everyone to gather, because my view was always keep yours closer, keep an eye on them. So they did that. But anyways, so I mean, that's I think the practical result. I think it's just the fact that we don't, you know, never mind. So you want to next motion up in life? Let's make sure it's the good. That's it. Yeah, whoever can read it. Whatever. Go for it. So I will make a motion to approve occupancy approval HTBZA 24-03
Timothy Miller, what we can do today, specifically for parcel number 316-3200-400-600. Street address 11100 Gorsuch Road. She is made to approve, well, the number I just read, HTZ 24-03, for an auto repair business and woodworking shop at 11100 Gorsuch Road. And 316-32004-00600. Operating within the hours of 8 a.m. to 6 p.m. to conduct this activity. No or nuisance outside of those hours. If I, I'm just going to add Keith. I think I would put my business needs to meet EPAs for fluids and waste. Waste needs containment of storage for leaks. This building sits in a parcel that is zoned AR1. A fence needs to be built in the back to keep cars out of sight of bank. Property on vacancies. For property. Yeah. The fence needs to be built in the back to keep cars out of sight of the property line. Applicant is to meet with the fire chief for a certificate of operation and would have to reapply for a new permit, which is true of any conditional use, I believe. But anyhow, they would have to apply for a new permit. So applicant agrees to keep the number of less than 5. Yeah. I can use personal vehicles. So just running down the applicant agrees to keep the number of cars in view to less than 5, not counting his personal vehicles. That's the motion. Okay, we have a second. I second the motion. Discussions? Additions? Call, please.
Keith Campbell.
Aye.
Steve Eisenberg.
Abstain.
Bill Gallagher.
Aye.
Carl Ferris.
Aye.
Jules Steele Smith.
Abstain. Yeah. 2 passes. Motion's carried. Congratulations. Congratulations. Thanks for your patience as well. No, don't. Going through for
months as we've tried to sort some things out too. So
Ever since I put that bar.
well done.
Well, mine sell and sell the barn.
That's a nice
I
problem.
appreciate it. No, Marvin.
So what happens next for him?
Wait 30 days.
Is it 30 days?
We got 30 days and from that time, if it appeals it to the Court of Appeals of Delaware County. And see Mike for the certificate. I'll be sending you a letter, I'll tell you when you can do that, so.
Right. Thank you. Appreciate it.
Motion to adjourn the meeting.
I make a motion to adjourn here. And you took the easy one.
A second. All in favor, say aye. All same thing.
Everybody signed the register, please.
Yeah, sign the paper, original application and how you vote. Whenever she gets it, that, but the one she has. Good. Before we leave, no, that's another thing. Next on the agenda, new business, Mike, you have anything about?
No, there's nothing new coming right now.
Do we need to do a vote for reconvene?
It's me.
Kim Campbell,
Here.
Rosa Brown,
Yes.
Bill Gallagher,
Yeah.
Kyle Harris,
Yes.
Steel Smith.
Yeah.
Or yes. Right.
Whatever. Okay. The application of thing, anything reports?
Nothing new.
Nothing.
You get the report in 2 days, the trustee meeting.
Okay. Folks out here, anything to bring up?
No, I just started to see Mike on Friday about potential grants coming up. He said, so I'll see you guys afterwards. So it's not really part of the meeting. I just want to introduce myself and run something by after the meeting.
Okay.
Just get your feedback.
Just appreciate your coming. For the little audience. We'll wait on Zoom or anything.
I'd like to see if I could be an alternate for this committee.
Why don't you stand up and addition just talk about it here. We're this mic. Here we go.
Let's sit next to him.
You sit next to me. Yeah, I do.
My name is Amy Richardson, and I live at 16190 East State Route 37. And I'm interested in becoming an alternate for this committee.
You need to send a letter to the trustees. Desire to be an alternate. And have to take it up and the trustees. Agenda.
And trustees will Wednesday night, so it's a pretty simple decision, I think.
Yeah, if you want to, if you know any of the trustees or. Yeah, I mean, it's not what without she bringing this is make sure.
I would suggest you get, to one time plan, so it's on record.
Maybe too late for the agenda for this week.
It's too late, but what they're doing, they have another one for the zoning commission. Okay. And what they'll do if you get your app in, next month they'll make it retroactive. So that way she can come and be an alternate at the next meeting. Okay. That sound good?
Sounds fine.
What's your name again?
Amy Richardson.
It's been a lot of our meetings. Oh yeah, she's a very familiar face. Yes, yes.
I've seen her before, but I didn't. So
I think that's great.
Okay, so letter to the trustees.
just one of them, at least.
Jackson's the chairman.
Okay.
Yeah, just send it to him. We'll let everybody know. Like I said, you'll probably be on the agenda for not this time, but next time. But according to Lisa, what they're doing with the other applicant also, it's good you came today, is they're going to make them retroactive. So that way you can come to the next meeting, and if have to, you'll look. And if for some reason you would have to participate, you'll be in.
Okay. Does she need to include a resume with that?
Just for general information, phone number, email.
Just that you have a desire to serve with all the members. Requirements.
Yeah, the requirements of township as you're breathing.
Township, yeah.
Yeah, President. That's like I said.
Hardly, right?
Yeah, Steve and I've watched it for 2 years, so.
Yep. It's been a pleasure.
Okay, cool. So I will do that and we'll go forward.
Next on the club. Our next meeting is August 19th. And just,
Website, they post all the dates.
Yeah. okay.
okay. Nothing else going forward. Motion to adjourn.
Make a motion to approve.
Yeah, motion second to adjourn. All in favor, say aye. Aye. Those same sign. Turned. You can.
Okay.
Sorry. Good. Down soon.
So my parents lived at Worthington, and my father's not my father.
I like it.
Yeah.